It's that time of year, folks. What is your most unexplainable / paranormal story? Serious. I used to live near the place where during Second World War Germans executed around 500 prisoners. Nowadays, there is a green area with a monument and it is situated on the way to the place I used to live, from the bus stop on the top of a hill, 10 minutes walk. This happened 20 odd years ago. I was going back from city center and it was already dark. I left the bus and started walking home. Nothing usual, as this was everyday thing. But it went crispy cold. Nah, hello winter, I thought to myself. I saw somebody going from the direction of the monument and he or she was walking slowly. Our paths would cross in less than 1 minute, but at the crossroads was a bush, 2 meters tall, 3 to 4 meters wide. I saw that person disappearing behind the thick bush, but when I got to the crossroads, there was nobody there. Not a chance anybody could hide in the bushes. Still give me shivers. When I was about 14 to 15 I was hunting on my father's property. It was early morning and had been in my hunting blind since before the sun came up. I hadn't heard a single thing besides the typical squirrel or bird and occasionally a cow, as the fenced-off property behind my blind was a huge cow pasture. The sun started coming up around 7 to 7:30ish that morning, and as it started to come up I heard two things jump the fence. Thinking it may be deer, I waited to see if they would go in front or on the side of my blind where I had a view of them. Immediately after I hear them jump the fence, it sounded like 2 pairs of human footsteps. I knew they were human footsteps because they were heavy and spaced out exactly how humans walk. The things walked up right behind my hunting blind and I never heard another footstep. Never heard an animal-like noise, no breathing, nothing. Just footsteps walking behind my hunting blind. I didn't stay out there very long after that, as I texted my dad to come get me. I told him what had happened and he said it was probably just some animals, but I know they were not any type of animal. When I first went to my father's property he told me 2 little girls were buried somewhere back there. I think they may have been toying with me. It was morning. My brother and myself were home alone, he in his room, me and mine minding my own business. Mother and sister arrive home after running an errand. My sister rushes to the restroom. She finds the bathroom door closed, can see the light seeping through, and hears the shower running. Since I am singing my little heart out in my room, she assumes, naturally, that my brother is showering. So she sits with my mom in the living room, facing the kitchen. Off to the side of the kitchen is the hallway leading to the bathroom. That is to say, if you're coming out of the bathroom, you have to pass through the kitchen, which is in full view of the living room. You can't be missed, which is unfortunate when there are guests over, since you can't sneak by, so your only choices are to hold it in or partake in social interaction. But I digress. As mom and sister are chatting, they hear my brother's bedroom door open and see him walking right out. Cue confusion. All 3, or 4? I join in at some point here. It was ages ago. Rush to the hallway and see the bathroom unoccupied. Door is wide open. Lights are off. Shower is no longer running. They wanted to believe it was an intruder, but that was / is simply impossible due to the layout of the house. Not to mention the house is small, the doors were locked, and the windows have bars, so good luck trying to get in or out unnoticed, you know? After some denial, we accepted was something paranormal. After all, this was neither the first nor the last instance of freaky shit. My father used to see a woman walking into my room in the early mornings. Hell, I saw a woman standing at the edge of my bed once too. It wasn't a dream or sleep paralysis, I was awake, alert, and mobile. And of course, we have the occasional disturbance in the kitchen, toys and electronics turning on and off randomly, weird noises, etc. You kinda just learn to laugh about it. Look, honestly, I don't believe in ghosts. Not really. Like, I will happily go to any haunted places because I don't believe in them. But I swear to fucking God that every once in a while I see my dog who died last year. Like, don't get me wrong, I love the dog so much, but it still creeps me the fuck out that I'll walk downstairs and I see him and then stop, and when I've blinked he's gone again. I've seen him in his bed, chilling on the floor. I even saw him up on my bed once, which actually upset me more than anything. He died because someone poisoned him and I was away for uni, but my parents told me that they found him when he started howling in pain on my bed, which means he walked past everyone else's rooms to go there because I'm at the end of the hallway. I miss him. This is really long, and for that, I apologize, but this is an entirely 100% true story. More than a few years ago, we lived in a house out in the country that we were renting from the neighbors next door. The way the house was set up, if you stood in the living room and looked straight ahead, there was a television against the wall, a love seat on the left side, a couch in front of you. And on the left wall there would be a master bedroom door, and to the left of that the staircase that leads upstairs. When you got upstairs, my big, open bedroom was right there and you'd have to walk through it to get to my sister's room. One night, I'm upstairs in my room. I'm working on setting up my computer to my stereo system and connecting that to my television and my Xbox. As I'm working away, super invested in my work, and listening to music, I hear a loud, and I mean loud, smack. My sister starts yelling and screaming at me, "Uncle Chut. What the fuck is your goddamn problem? What the fuck did I do? Why did you do that?" I was super confused, so I walked downstairs to see my sister holding her head and yelling at me while there was a broken television remote on the floor. Now, it's also to note that the living room was very visible from the kitchen. They were separated by a counter and nothing else. My mom comes out of the kitchen and starts to yell at me about throwing the television remote at my sister's head. I'm like, "What the fuck are you talking about? I was upstairs working on my stereo. My mom isn't having it. I saw you throw it. You picked the remote up and launched it at your sister's head from across the room." From my mom and sister's point of view, my sister was downstairs sitting on the couch in front of the television. She was fiddling around on her phone and my mom was in the kitchen sitting at the counter working on something. As my sister is sitting on the couch, the television remote that was sitting on an end table across the room next to the love seat picked itself up and hurled it right at my sister's head and beamed her with enough force that it shattered, yes, shattered, the remote and left a giant goose egg on her head. So we're all standing there, they're yelling at me, I'm telling them I had nothing to do with it, and as they start to believe me I started to feel my face burn and bad. The best way I can describe it is someone lit a lighter for a really long period of time and stuck it to my right cheek under my eye. Now I'm clutching my face and screaming, my mom and sister are freaking out. As I pull my hand away, it looked like someone, or something, raked my cheek with their fingernails and scratched my cheek super hard. My family has always had run-ins with spirits. We have one or two that follow us around, no joke, and we knew that house had something in it. We have a few stories of other encounters there, but this one was by far the most bizarre and active interaction we've ever had with an angry spirit. To this day we still have no idea what we did to make it mad. TLDR, my sister and I did something to piss a spirit off. It broke a remote over her head and scratched the hell out of my cheek. When I was in middle school we lived in a house where my bedroom had the door to the attic. I would wake up frequently in the middle of the night to footsteps going up and down the attic stairs. One night, I had a friend sleeping over and we woke up to a tapping on my wall. We tapped back. Moments later there was a tapping on each of my walls getting progressively louder. We've heard a little girl crying, came home to all of the lights on and doors open, all of the faucets running. Just weird stuff. Thankfully my mother believed everything I told her. We all felt/saw/heard weird things in that house. We eventually named the ghost Martha to try and ease our fear. Nothing bad ever happened. Driving past the house still gives me the goosebumps. Got to school really early one morning a month or so ago, like really early. 0 hour starts at 0745 and I got there at like 0615, and for some reason they let me in. But anyway, I was walking through one of the maintenance halls that I use if I'm late for class because they make nice shortcuts, and I saw someone at the end of it. Couldn't see much of their face, but saw enough to be able to recognize it, and they walk away and turn a corner that goes back to the regular hallway. So I was like, oh, must be a custodian or something, so I walk around the corner and no one's around. Which I thought was weird because that part of the school is a long hallway, but I guess if you walked quick enough you could get to the door to the courtyard before I made it to the hallway. But anyway, later that day I was looking through a yearbook for a project on the legacy of the school and found a picture of a person who looked just like the person I saw in the hallway. Just one problem. That person had died in their junior year due to a football accident. In 1940. It's okay if you don't believe me, many people don't be alive in visitations, but this is my experience. My dog had just died in 2019 and I was a mess. I cried all day and my boyfriend had to come take me in the house because I was clutching at the grass crying in the rain begging God to bring him back. That night I was in bed crying and I went to sleep. The moment I closed my eyes I woke up again and felt my dog coming up the bed from his little bed at the end of ours. He walked up, I felt every step on the blanket and noticed that the disability he had in life that affected his walking was gone completely, like he was healed. Then he got in my arms fussing and kissing me. I could feel his fur, the bed, every kiss in his body heat, even his heartbeat and breathing. I petted him, kissed him back a bunch of times and I said I'm so sorry we had to put him down, and he looked at me and fussed me more like he was telling me it was okay and he was home and safe and with me always. I said I love him. He nudged me more and I noticed he had brought his favorite toys with him. He got in the covers with me. I petted and loved him till we went to sleep at the same time. Then I instantly woke up again and it was morning and he was gone, but I could feel where he had slept and I felt better. I didn't cry today. In my actual dreams he shows up all the time in nightmares with my uncle who also passed away and my cockatiel. They always save me, and the last one I had we were running away from my house together to my boyfriend's, which I'm currently staying, and I have felt and see things to say they are actually visiting me. I felt my dog coming up the bed and my uncle sit on my bed while I'm still actually awake. It's like my dog and bird comes for hugs and my uncle is on watch to protect me.
Thanks for watching. If you like these videos, hit subscribe, smack the bell, and smash the like. I'm the Reddit Onion. See you next time.